Hey guys, to the woods. This is probably my favorite piece of gear that I took with me up to Zone 5. I had picked this up both because of the way that I've been hunting on mainland Nova Scotia, but there was extra reason, obviously, to pick this particular piece of equipment up going up to Zone 5. And that is my Zoleo communication device. This little box for about 300 bucks, I guess it is. This was incredible. I'm going to go over some of the tech specs. I got it up on the computer screen in front of me just to kind of go over kind of what it is. It's 5.3 ounces, so it's 150 grams. You can see it's not terribly big. Shock resistant, water resistant, all of that stuff. It looks like it'll go underwater to 1.5 meters for up to 30 minutes. That's pretty good. It's a rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Battery life's good for about 200 hours. I'll go into my experience with it. Charging time is 2 hours using the 1.5 amp charger. So I just recharged it overnight. I came down. It was fully charged. It operates between minus 20 degrees Celsius up to 55 degrees Celsius. So pretty cold, pretty warm. What else was it? Oh, this is on the Iridium satellite network, which I think is important. Again, I'll go into some things. If you watch the video that we talked with Shan and Sally and Matt, a post hunt up at Wilson's camp, they were on a spot, and it's Globa something. I can't remember what it is, but it was horrible. The Iridium allowed my Zoleo and the, what are the other ones? The InReaches, Garmin, that's what it was. We were communicating back and forth super easy. Yeah, other than that, all the rest of this stuff you guys can pretty much look up. All right, so got a little clip. For me, I'm a left-handed bow shooter, so I had it clipped on my strap right here, and I had lots of clearance. No issues with carrying it around. Didn't bother me a whole lot. I did leave the sound on, so that if a message came in, I heard it. It's a light beep. Up in the Moose Woods, I didn't think it was terribly, bad, but in the deer woods, sitting in a tree stand, yeah, that thing would echo. So I'll be trying to figure out how to turn the sound off while I'm using it in the deer woods and the bear woods. It's got the SOS button, right? This works through your phone. Now, my phone is recording, but it's got an app. When you go into the app, you're able to do all of your text the same way you would normally do a text. You're able to send an SOS with the button in that. You're able to do check-ins if that's what you want to do it. It allows you to do the check-ins. It's pretty incredible. And to be able to communicate both with home, and my wife and family were in BC, and we were texting back and forth while I was out of communication or cell phone communication up in the Highlands. So this really did work great. One of the things that this thing, I guess, does uniquely, so they say, it works. So the number you get for this, if you're in cell phone or if you're in Wi-Fi, it will send this message cell phone Wi-Fi. And then once you move out of that, out to where there's no cell phone or Wi-Fi, then this starts sending messages via the satellite system so that you're always in communication regardless of, and that can save you if you get the minimal plan and you only want so many messages. It will only send messages, I guess, via satellite when you need it. When I was in the Highlands, I'm putting this down because I don't want to hold my arm up too much longer. When I was in the Highlands, all I didn't want my phone searching constantly for a cell tower. So I just put my phone on airplane mode, and that meant that this thing was the only way I was communicating, and it did it flawlessly. I was very, very impressed. I haven't used the SOS or anything like that, but it being on the Iridium system seemed to work a great deal better than what the Spot was on. Like I said, the two Garmin's inReaches and this were communicating very, very quickly. It was taking sometimes up to 40-45 minutes for Shan to either receive the message that the rest of us were receiving instantly, and the same for him trying to send a message out on his Spot. So this, however, it's not GPS. It has a GPS chip in it so that if you hit the SOS button, they'll come find you, but obviously there's no screen. It doesn't work that way. It connects to your phone and allows you to text and everything. So this is just kind of like the little black box that you connect to, and you send everything through your phone. So you do need to have two things charged and working in order for it to work properly. You need this and you need your phone. This I left on all daylight hours and up until I went to sleep. So when I got up in the morning, 6, 7 o'clock, well, earlier than that. We were on the road by 6, 7 o'clock, heading up the trail. So we turned this on first thing in the morning, and I turned it off at night before I went to bed because I was using it to communicate with my wife. And it had 30% power remaining on Sunday morning. So I went up on Sunday, came back on Sunday. This was on every day. It was never plugged into a charger. So whatever that works out to be, let's say it was certainly 12 hours plus a day at 7 days. So it says 200 hours battery life, just on its own. I was using it fairly frequently, and it lasted me all week, and that was still 32%. So there was still some juice left in it, and it would have been pretty easy for me to plug this into one of the battery chargers and top it up. But I was interested to see how low it went while I was using it up there. So what else is there to tell you about this? So the app, very easy to use, and for 3 months, when you get this, the first time you get it up and running, right, you have to buy a plan for 3 months. I bought the unlimited. I wanted the full shebang, so I was paying $80 a month, and am paying $80 a month for September, October, November for hunting season, and I can use this as much as I like, and I don't have to worry about it. Whether or not you think that's a lot of money or not, that's entirely up to you. For me, it just makes sense that it was my first time using it. I wanted to fully explore, using it as much as I can, right? I bought it, and now I can for the 3 months, and I didn't have to worry when I was in the Highlands whether or not I was going to be sending too many messages or, whatever the case. This also allows me to check the weather while I'm up there, again on my phone, but it's very easy to read, sends me the weather, so it worked out quite well. After the 3 months is up, you can put it to sleep. You can buy a lesser plan. You can month to month, you can decide whether you want it on, off, whether you're going for a bunny hunt in January, turn it back on after you turn it off. And there's lots of opportunities. It's only really the first time they get you have to open it up for the first 3 months steady before you can start bumping down and up and off. So if that makes sense, I think any of you guys that have explored into it probably know what that means. If you go onto the Zoleo website, it does a pretty good explanation there of how to do that, and everything gets done pretty much on the app. It works very, very well. So this worked for communication, but this isn't how I got around. The Garmin, great thing about the Garmin, mind you, they're all different prices, mind you. The Garmin also comes with, a screen, or some of them do anyway. The one that Matt had, for example, he was using, his maps were on that, and he was using that to kind of get his directions and that sort of thing. I was using the Topo Canada app on my phone, putting this away. I think it's only available for the iPhone. I don't think they have it available for whatever the not iPhones are called again. I can't remember what the word is, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So the iPhone app, I've been using that for years up where I'm hunting, and it allows me to flag things. It tells me what direction I'm going. it's been flawless using that. I've used it in the Highlands before on other moose hunts. Dave Thomas, my hunting partner, you know, has started to use it because he's amazed that using it, I always know where I'm at. I always know where I'm going. It's just so very simple to use. So that's how I got around. But my iPhone is waterproof, submersible, you know, all that other stuff. Don't get me wrong. I still had topo maps printed out, kind of like this. All right, I just printed out topo maps. That's my hunting area. And I had those in a dry bag, and as well in this, now for the Highlands, that is, for the areas we were hunting. And I printed off color copies of satellite images, and I put those in the bag. Where did I put that? There we go. I had satellite images and topo on the other side. So, and that's in a waterproof bag. So had this, and of course, compass, always. And that's pretty much how we got around. I'll tell you, even though we had, you know, Garmin and all that, the number of times we referenced the paper maps as we were kind of getting around, especially the satellite ones. Very nice to have the satellite maps, because then you didn't just kind of know where the plateaus were, you kind of know what was forested and what wasn't, if you needed to reference that. So that came in very, very handy. Anyway, that's it. That's longer, always longer than I want it to be, but in this particular case, I love this thing. This is my new favorite piece of equipment. I love being able to communicate back home. Many of you already know that I had fallen from a tree stand some years ago, and I was very fortunate that at the bottom of that stand, I was getting a signal. If I had been at another stand, possibly I may not have got a message out. So, you know, being able to communicate is important for safety reasons. And the nice thing about this is a different number. So you only give this number to the people you want to be able to reach you while you're in the woods. All right, fair enough, guys. To the woods. If you got any questions about this, you know, feel free to reach out, and I'll do my very best to let you know what it is I think about it if I haven't addressed it in the video. To the woods.